In a strong seller's market like the Bay Area, where do the opportunities for buyers lie? That's the question I'm going to answer in this video, and we're going to start right now. Hey guys, Hans Struzyna with the Gunderman Group at Keller Luxury International coming to you with another video. This time we're talking about the opportunities for buyers in a strong seller's market. Obviously, we all know that the Bay Area and specifically the East Bay have been really strong seller's markets, meaning tons of offers, lots of showings, lots of excitement even during COVID, and probably seems like most buyers don't have a lot of opportunity to negotiate or to even just frankly get into the house because it's going to be bid up above their price. Yes, that is the case in a few areas. However, there are some very subtle and some not so subtle opportunities for you as a buyer to come in and realize that you might have a better chance at this house than you might have otherwise thought. If you get value out of this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel because I am going to continue to put out weekly content just like this and you're not going to want to miss it. So stay tuned for that. Thanks in advance and let's get into it. I'm going to kick this off by telling you something you already know. The Bay Area is really tech driven. Well, you're telling me, yeah, duh, Hans. The tech money is what's really jacked up the housing prices. Of course. We all have that narrative in our heads. We're all aware of it. It's got merit to it. That's not what I'm talking about. What I am talking about is the adoption of tech here, and its influence in our real estate shopping experience has been huge. What I mean by that is people who are shopping for homes, much like anything else, are scrolling through their phones quickly to find a place that grabs their attention and they want to check out. Now, where the opportunity lies there. Anytime you're doing the same thing, stop on the photos that are bad. Stop on the ones that just are ugly, are sideways, have something just askew on them that's weird, you don't get it. Stop there and just dig a little bit deeper. The fact that so many people are going so quickly past these other photos gives you an opportunity, if you just take another 5 minutes or less just to look through the qualifications of the house, the stats, the numbers, and of course the photos, because you might have just found a diamond in the rough that a ton of people are going to overlook. Another area that is worth paying attention to is if you're struggling to understand the layout. Regardless of if the photos are beautiful or not, if you're sitting there scratching your head thinking like, I don't get it. Where's the bedroom? Where's the hallway? What did those stairs go to? If you're asking those questions, that's probably a reason to investigate further. If you're confused, so's your competition, and it's very likely because most buyers have very little vision. I know you're not one of them, but they're probably not going to show up or they're not going to give as much attention to that house as the one where the photos are curated and gorgeous and really obvious how they would live in this house based on the photos or the video. Now, the other area of opportunity that most people overlook is the seasonality. Well, there's certain times of the year when more inventory is on or there's way less of a buyer pool that are typical for the East Bay market. Now, granted, COVID and the shelter-in-place order has completely thrown a bomb in that whole situation and has turned it on its head. So I'll tell you kind of what was typical so that when we get back to some level of normalcy, you'll know, but also give you my take on what's going on in the COVID era for the short term as well. So typically speaking, the market would be still pretty sleepy in early January and start to come to life by the second, third week of January. February, March was always really hot, fairly decent inventory, but a ton of buyer activity. For whatever reason, everyone was coming out of the New Year's hangover and ready to buy a house. Whether it was a resolution or what, I don't know, but that was typically one of our hottest markets. So you go into April, May started to cool off just a little bit, and then June was typically on the flatter side. We called it the June doldrums. It was always just a little bit dead for whatever reason. Hard to say exactly why, but I'm assuming it had to do with the school year ending and people going on vacation. I don't know. Either way, that's the case. And then by about July 4th, you would see the energy return back to the market. Typically speaking, July and August were pretty good, pretty solid status quo. But towards the end of August was a good time to sell because there was very little inventory on. And for whatever reason, all the inventory would kind of pop on the first 2 weeks of September. First big opportunity of the year for the buyers who had, low down payments or a poor cash position or something like that, because the buyer pool didn't swell to meet it. So you would typically see more options, more choice those first couple weeks, and then it would flatten out after about 2 or 3 weeks. Then you'd go into October. Again, that gets towards the holidays, a little slow. And most of the time as a seller, if you wanted to sell for the best price, you wanted to be in contract by Halloween. Now, if you're on after Halloween, it means one of two things. One, you don't care about getting the highest price, or you absolutely have to sell because you have some relocation date or job change or some life event that is, or tax event that is forcing you to sell before the end of the year. Now, that's a huge opportunity for a buyer because who wants to move during the holiday season? Nobody. So it's only the motivated folks. And if you're someone who has like that poor cash position, a lower down payment, some alternative financing method, that's another of your opportunities. And unfortunately, you have to be a little willing to potentially buy something during the holidays and move then. But it's an opportunity for you to get into your neighborhood, get into the house that you've always wanted, and you should be very aware of it when it comes around. Now, for COVID purposes, obviously totally turned it on its head. Shelter in place happened in early March, which is typically our booming, very exciting time. So basically what has happened is it's pushed the inventory through March, April, and May that would have otherwise come on into late May and into June, now into July. We are seeing unprecedented numbers of listings coming on and a huge pipeline coming on over the next couple of months as well. So frankly, right now, this inventory swell is a big opportunity. However, it does feel like the buyer pool is coming back to meet it. So I am going to make a quick prediction, which is the 2020 election season is going to be the next opportunity for buyers. Right now I'm seeing a lot of multiple offers, even though there's still a ton of inventory coming on. There's competition right now. So I believe that the 2020 election season will pull people out of the market, because it always does. People kind of hold their breath, sit on the sidelines, wait, want to ride it out, want to see what's going to happen. And if you're someone who identifies the right house for you, the interest rates are likely still going to be low then, that could be your big opportunity to get into the house of your dreams. Not to mention that a seller who goes on at that time may have either the desire to get out of that house while they can, or are relocating, because it is going to be towards the end of the year, of course, for job purposes or what have you before the end of the year. So they have an extra motivation on top of just selling their house. So let's see if that one's right, and I think it's going to be a big opportunity for you, so keep an eye on that as well. So there you have it. There's a couple of opportunities for buyers here in this hot sellers market that is the Bay Area. If you got some value out of that, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, because I am going to continue to put out weekly content just like this, and you're not going to want to miss it. So without any further ado, I'm Hans Struzyna with the Gunderman Group at Keller Williams Luxury International, and I'm signing off for now. See you guys on the next one.